Don't forget to subscribe and press the bell icon to never miss a video from testbook.com.
Hello everyone, very good morning to all of you. This is Anjali, your mentor for English, and I welcome you all on testbook.com. And yes, people were expecting this session to start as soon as possible, and here we are, guys. Welcome Jay, Avinash, Menka, Saubhagya, Anjali, Avinash. So a very good morning to all of you guys. I hope all of you are doing well and be ready to face today's question, guys. I hope the previous sessions which we are already completing in, you are revising all the concepts, all the rules which you are making notes of. I believe after this whole series you will be able to lay a very great foundation to all the topics of grammar and inhabit the potentiality to express the questions in error detection is going to be a bit greater than what you would be in the previous session, right? So I believe all these things are going to actually help you in finding errors. Now when I say in finding errors, doesn't mean that your knowledge of all these questions will be limited to this particular topic only, because we are only actually covering out one pattern, guys, right? But it can come, the questions can come in your varied pattern as well as from your sentence improvement, right? Or maybe in terms of sentence connector as well, right? So once you will be able to know how a particular rule in a grammar works, you will be able to find out the error and you will be able to think in that way when you will be coming across any such questions, guys. So yes, Nuruz, good morning. Saurav is there, Nilesh is there. Very good morning to all of you guys. If all of you are ready, we can start our session as soon as possible. So we can have our first question on your screen, guys. Read the directions very carefully, guys, and go ahead with the question. Instead of spotting the error in one part of a sentence, this question, it is of this nature that 5 possible ways has been written and you need to find out which one is the right way to frame this sentence, guys. Okay, answers have started coming with option number 5. 5 answer hai, great. Okay, Anjali says 5, Avinash says 5, Humayu, Saubhagya, Jay, Nurus, all are with option number 5, great. Saurav and Nilesh also says option 5, great. So if we decode this question, guys, why are you choosing option number 5 as your answer? What was the hint which you got it? You are saying most of the work wouldn't have been possible without his help. I believe 1 or 2 options are starting with more. That is the one contrasting feature you can find out in any other option. The second which I am able to see here is after would not. In some of the sentences they have used have, and in some of the sentences they have used had. So why are you choosing have or most? Okay, Avinash says in option 1 within is wrong, great Avinash. In option 2 had been, okay. Most and have should be right, Anjali says, great. So fine, guys, I'll take you to the next screen which will be highlighting the right answer for this question. And yes, all of you were right for this question. Great going, guys. The first thing what we are talking about here is most of the work. We never say more of the work, because here that is acting as a comparative degree, right? So instead of more, we are going to use most here. The second thing which is coming to your context is after would. Now if you know would is what? Models. So if you are following this whole series, we know after models what are the things which we are going to use. Generally the present tense, right? Or in other words, you use the base form of verb. That is nothing but V1. So that's why after would we require have been, right? Instead of had been, guys. And you are talking about wouldn't have been possible. So you are putting a contrasting feature. So that's why in the later part of the sentence you need without his help, right? So you are actually making him a crucial person in the work which we are going for. I hope this question would be okay with all of you, and you can start your notes with today's first rule that goes with your after models we make use of V1 format, or if you are following in the previous one, that can be acting as a revising rule, guys. So moving ahead, we have the next question on your screen. So you have the next question on your screen, guys. Read the direction. It is again working on the same type of question which we dealt before. Tom, Dick and Harry are very disrespectful towards their colleagues. Option 1 says. Second says Tom, Dick and Harry are very disrespectful from their colleagues. So there's a change in the preposition if you see in 1 and 2. Third says Tom, Dick and Harry are very disrespecting. Instead of disrespectful, they have used disrespecting towards their colleagues. Fourth says they are very disrespectful towards his colleagues. And in fifth says Tom, Dick and Harry are very disrespectful towards their colleague. Their spelling is T-H-E-R-E. Okay, Avinash, Nilesh, Nurush, Ved Prakash, Saurabh, Abhishek, all are with option 1. Vivek says 1, Jay says 1. Okay. On what grounds you are choosing option 1, guys? What hint you got that can be the right one? Nuru says disrespecting is wrong. Okay. Elimination helps in such questions. Great going, Avinash. That can act as a key rule in order to attempt these questions, right? Because you just need to compare and contrast the questions or the options which is given, right? For example, in 1 and 2, the basic difference I found out is the uses of preposition. Now you need to understand with disrespectful you are going to use towards or you are going to use from. Right? So there you can get a hint that we are not going to use disrespectful from their colleagues. So we know we are going to use towards as a preposition here because that is explaining what? Direction. And the another difference which you can find out in the option which is provided is the uses of disrespectful and disrespecting. Fine, I'll take you to the next screen, guys, which will be highlighting the right answer. That says option number 1, guys, and yes, that is right. The right formula or the right format would be Tom, Dick and Harry are very disrespectful, because you are making use of very as an adverb here. So the next word which needs to come over there will be any adjective, right? So that's why disrespectful is acting as an adjective over there, and towards their colleagues is explaining what? In the direction. And the very basic difference or basic error which they have given in the option number 5 is this and this. I believe the difference between these two pronouns would be clear. There means somebody's, right? When you are actually referring to, let's say, your friend, so there you make use of this pronoun. But when you say there is a house, that means you are actually explaining the position over there, right? So I believe this rule would be clear to all of you. Moving ahead, we have the next question on your screen, guys. So you have this direction in front of you. You need to understand that what we are going to do in the next question. So it says again you will be provided with 4 or 5 options and you need to find out the right way of the sentence, or grammatically right sentence. So the next screen will be highlighting the question. So the question is a bit lengthy, guys. Do not get daunted with the length. Just read it slowly. Yes, I'm giving time. It will get uploaded, Saurav, don't worry. Read the question very carefully and slowly. I hope the question would have uploaded onto your screen, guys. A bit lengthy one, but I would request to go through the question very slowly. Answers have started coming with option 3, Raj and Sudeep. Pooja says option 3. There is a hint, guys. You can make use of some of the rules of subject-verb agreement. That can actually help you to find out. Avinash says option 4. Nuru says option 3. Ved Prakash says 4, Anjali 4, Vivek 3, Avinash 4. So guys, I'll not take much time onto this question. Before going on to the answer slide, I would like to go through the options which you have given as an answer. So the first answer which came, or the answer which is given onto your screen as you see, is option number 2, guys, right? But you need to understand the option number 3 and 4 which was coming as in the comment box. What is the difference between these options? For example, we'll take option 3 first. If you see, it was quite a sharp contrast to their last set of widely publicized meetings in Patna over breakfast and dinner which was designed. So in option 3 here it is written which was designed. Now you need to understand this verb has been used for what? What has been designed to convey? It's the meetings, right? It was the meetings which was designed to convey the message, right? So we cannot use was. That is a wrong thing which is stated in option number 3, guys. Right? Now if we talk about option number 4, that's a very basic one. If you see, it is starting with it were. Fine. That means the subject for whom we are using were must be plural one. So what is that subject here? It were quite a sharp contrast to their last set of. Now if you see last set, right? And that to a contrast. Here we have not used any sets. So that's why usage of were is wrong in option number 4, guys. Right? I believe this would be fine with all of you. If there is any doubt onto this question, you can ask. Okay. I have a confusion whether it is subject or not. If it is subject, then option 3 is correct. No, Abhishek, you need to understand that it has been used there, but it is actually referring to something else. You need to understand, it were quite a sharp contrast, right? So if we are actually talking about, let us understand in this way, when we are actually referring to it being a rainy day, right? So if I take this example, it was a rainy day, so that means you are referring what? A day. Fine. Although this sentence is starting with what? The pronoun it, isn't it? But actually the subject is what? Day, and that day is acting in a singular way. That's why the usage of was will be justified here. Fine. I believe this question would be okay to all of you. Moving ahead, we can have the next question on your screen, guys. I believe all of you are writing the rules or making notes of what we are discussing right now. The next question is there. The fast asleep citizens were disturbed by the noise. Then second says sleep fast citizens. Then the later part of the sentence is same. Third says fast sleepy citizens. Then later part is same. Fourth says the asleep citizens were fast disturbed by the noise. And fifth says the fast asleep citizens was disturbed by the noise. Avinash 1, Anjali 1, Siddharth 1, Saurav 1, Nurus 1. Okay. Can you explain, guys, why you are choosing option 1 on the other options? Jagriti A, Sudeep 1 and Raju 1. Okay. Why you have chosen that order, guys? Because the error which can be seen through here is something has to do with fast asleep citizens, right? Or was or were. So if you are choosing order number 1 or option number 1, why you are choosing that order? Current questions are going on a right level. Don't worry about it, because you need to understand the previous sessions as well, right? We have brought the questions from all the levels. So don't get scared by the levels, guys. Okay, sleepy is wrong, Avinash says. Fine. Siddharth says fast asleep is most suitable one. Avinash says fast disturbed is wrong. Fine. Option 4 goes out. With 3 goes out. Okay, so I'll take you to the next screen, guys, which will be highlighting the right answer first. And yes, all of you were right with option number 1. And the right order what we have done in this goes with fast, asleep and citizens, right? So whenever we are using it, again you need to understand citizens is acting as noun, right? So the things which will be qualifying this noun will be what? Adjective. Now this adjective will be qualified by what? Adverb. So this is the right format which we are going to use in our sentence, guys. I believe this question would be okay with all of you, and this rule I believe we have already revised it a lot of times, that noun qualified by adjective, adjective qualified by adverb. Fine. Or in a way you can eliminate the other options as well. And we are talking about the subject as in citizens, so but obvious the verb which is going to come over there will be were. Fine, I believe this question would be okay to all of you. We can move ahead on to the next question. Similar patterned question, guys. Which one is grammatically and structurally correct? First says he did not possess enough money requiring for the operation. Second says did not possess enough money requirements for the operation. third says required for the operation, fourth says required from the operation, and fifth says required for these operation. So first part remains same, guys. Here Avinash 3, Vijay, Anjali, Avinash, Anand, Sudeep, Jyoti, Sudha, Siddharth, Vrishin and Nurus all are with option number 3. Great. Gayatri says option 3, Saurav 3. Fine. A lot of people have already given a right answer. I'll take you to the next screen, guys, an easy one. I hope all of you have got this question in a right manner. So yes, we have your right answer as an option number 3. He did not possess enough money required for the operation. I believe it was easy to eliminate the other options because they were very absurd in it. I don't think any explanation would be required for the other options, because in fifth one it is very absurd, because these has been used and operation has been used in a singular manner, right? But these denote what? Plural. In fourth one, required from the operation, you will not be requiring from, rather you need it for the operation. Okay, so I believe this question would be fine to all of you. Great, we can move on to the next question. Abhishek, the right usage is fast asleep only because of the nature of or the parts of speech with which the word belongs to, right? So asleep is acting as an adjective, and adjective will be qualified by adverb. But asleep cannot be adverb, that's why we cannot modify with fast. The next question is there on your screen, guys. Anjali, Prakhar, Siddharth, Nurus, Avinash with option 2, Sudeep, Saubhagya, Saurav, Prakhar, Jyoti, Balu, all are with option 2. Menka says option 2 as well. Can you find out what is the right thing about it, or what you, why you eliminated the other options, guys? Rajneesh says option 3, Raju 2, Ravi 2. Great. Easy question, I believe. See, guys, these questions are in a first hand. Why looks easy? Because of the formation of sentences. If I would have given the same sentence with 4 lines, right, then first of all you will feel that why to go and read this whole cumbersome sentence at a go, right? But you need to understand, guys, even though the examiner is giving you with any question of 2 lines or 4 lines or 6 lines, the concept is going to remain same. If you are making use of what is the subject, what is the verb, it will remain same with this question as well, and the question which is going to come in your examination, right? So whatever concepts, whatever rules you are applying here, I believe you should apply it at the D-Day as well. Great, people have started answering what is wrong. Avinash is 4. Acknowledging is wrong. Great. We're not acknowledging. Fine. Nuru says tense ki error. Great. Okay. Ricky's efforts are somewhere written and it is starting it was a shame. Great. Efforts were is correct. Okay, because efforts is used in a plural format, so were will be required, and out of are and were we are going to use were because the sentence's tense is in past one. Great, you are all with the right concept, guys, I believe. Let us move on to the answer slide, guys. That says option number 2. It was a shame, because we are using this was for shame, that Ricky's efforts were, because this were has been used for efforts, not acknowledged by his colleagues. Okay. Great going, guys. We can move on to the next question. So that's why, Vinash, you need to calm down your enthu over there and read the question very carefully and peacefully, no matter what the length of sentence would be. You can attempt this question, guys. Option 1 says, I would rather be poor than get money in a dishonest manner. 2 says, I should rather be poor than get money in a dishonest manner. 3rd says, I would rather be poor than get money in a dishonest manner. 4 says, I could, and then uses of then. And in 5th it says, I am rather be poor. So answers have started coming with option 3. Can you find out the pair of conjunctions which is right here, guys? Either the error belongs to the uses of modals, guys, or the error will belong to the uses of conjunction. Either of the error is possible in this question. Nuru says then is wrong. Great. Okay. Fine. There's a very easy conjunction pair which has been used here, guys. We know whenever we are using rather, it is backed by than. Rather than. So first of all, remove all the options where you have got then. Where all you have used THEN, remove those options, guys. So option 1 gets eliminated, 2 gets eliminated, 4 gets eliminated, right? So we have only option 2 and 5. And I don't think it would be difficult to choose between 2. The next slide will be highlighting the right answer, guys. And that is option number 3. Yes, all of you are right, because I am rather be poor is a wrong structure being followed here with the uses of modals, guys. Yes, I believe you would be intact with this rule that rather is followed by than, THAN, rather than then. Okay. Moving on to the next question, guys, that is there on your screen. Yes, Nuru's elimination method is panacea to all these kinds of questions. So with this comment, you can keep a good word into your vocabulary that goes with panacea, and panacea is cure for all. Okay, you can go ahead with this question. The group never focused on what is important at the moment. Second says group never focuses on what was important at the moment. In first, I find out focused and is. In second, you find out focuses and was. Third says focuses and is. Okay. Fourth says never focuses on what is important at the moment. Okay. So in between option 3 and 4, the contrast is that moment and the moment. Option 5 says group never focuses on what is important from the moment. Option 4 is coming answer for this question. Okay. Fine. I believe the first thing which you can find out in this is there is an error with tense inconsistency, right? There are sentences where tense is not consistent, guys. They have used present as well and past too. For example, in 1 and 2 option, right? Focused is used and then is there. In second one, focuses is there, then was is there. So you can find out tense inconsistency in these options. Great options are there with option 4. Okay, I'll take you to the next screen, guys, and that will be highlighting the right answer for this question. And yes, option 4 is right one, because tense is consistent here. If you see, the group never focuses on what is important at the moment. Now if you put a contrast between 3 and 4, we know in 3 it is given at that moment and in 4th it is given at the moment. Now where do we use at that moment? When we actually previously mentioned what moment we are talking about, right? For example, at that moment, that means I am referring to some specific one, and I have already mentioned it before. But it's when we are talking about at the moment, that can go in a generic way, but still one specific moment we are talking about. I believe this question would be fine with all of you. Moving ahead on to the next question, guys, that is there on your screen. Now a different pattern question. I would recommend read the direction, guys. Read the direction. You need to find the errorless combination, guys. In the corporate sectors of today, multinational companies brings about changes in their policies to become more inclusive by bringing in various cultures and differently abled people in the workplace. Nuru says option 2, that is ACD is the right combo. Balu says B, Avinash ACDE, okay. Saurav option D, none of the above. Okay, Sudeep ACDE. So people are with option ACDE. So if your answer is ACDE, guys, or let's say BCDE, that means you would have found out the error in the letter which is not stated over there. So write in comment if you are finding out any error in B, what is the error? If you are finding out any error in A, what is that error? Rather writing the option number, guys, you can write B contains error and what is that error, A contains error, what is that error. Avinash says companies bring about hoga, okay, in B. Fine. Guys, you can write out the error which is there in the part. Okay, Nuru says brings, wrong hai. Okay, Kundan B brings, fine. Okay guys, we'll go ahead with the answer slide for this question. And yes, most of the people have given the right answer, guys. That goes with A, C, D, E. A, C, D and E are the right part in this sentence. And yes, the error which is also there in part B, you have highlighted in the right way. The subject which is used in part B, that goes with companies, right? And as soon as we got to know there is companies written, that means subject is how much? Like subject is our plural. And as soon as we got to know our subject is plural, the verb is going to be plural as well. But they have used what? Brings. And we know whenever we put S at the end of any verb, it becomes singular, right? So you need to remove this S and make it plural. So yes, the error was in option B. Multinational companies bring about changes is the right way to write this sentence. Moving ahead on to the next question, guys, that is there on your screen. Again the same pattern question. Errorless combination. Solomon Asch was a famous psychologist who conducted the Asch experiment to examine how peer pressure to conform could influence judgment and affect the individualistic tendencies of a person. Abhishek 3, Mayank 4, Nurus 1, Anjali 4, Mayank says other than these, okay. So again I would request whichever combination you are taking in for this question, guys, you can highlight the part where you feel the error is and write down the error. I believe the question's meaning would be clear to all of you guys. Variety of answers are coming in with option 1, 4 and 5 as well. Okay, first of all, I'll take you to the next screen, guys, which will be highlighting the right answer for this question. And no need to think that much because there is no error for this question, guys. And the people who are expecting any error in the part C or D where it says to examine how peer pressure to conform. To conform means it actually be updated with something, right? So peer pressure arises from that. So how peer pressure to conform could influence judgment. So take it as a whole part, right? We are not taking as a peer pressure to conform. That means you are expecting something at the end of conform to make it complete, but take it as a single phrase, how peer pressure to conform could influence, right? So whole part is acting as a subject over here, guys. So yes, there was no error in this sentence. Great going. So let us move ahead on to the next question. A very easy one, I believe, and I expect the answer to come within a minute, guys. When I will find a good buyer for my old car, I will be able to buy a new one. One minute for this question, guys. Errorless combination. Okay, people are saying option 2, that is B, C, D, E. That means the error is in part 1. Can you explain, guys, what is that error if it is there in option 1 or part A? Guys, you can write what is the error in part A. This is a concept-based question from tense, guys. This is absolutely concept-based question. No exceptions have been embedded onto this. Okay, first of all, we'll go on to the next screen, guys, which will be highlighting the right answer. And yes, B, C, D is an errorless combination. That means error remains in part A. And if you see, the structure of this whole sentence is divided into two parts, right? The first belongs to when I will find a good buyer, and the later part of the sentence is I will be able to buy a new one. Both the part of the sentences are in future simple tense, right? In which part of the tense do we find such kind of a structure, guys? There must be something absurd with the structure of the sentence, right? So in part A, you should remove will, right? We are not going to use will in the first part of the sentence, and the structure should be in simple present. whenever you frame such kind of sentences, you need to keep this structure intact. The first part of the sentence should go in a simple present tense and the later part of the sentence goes in future simple tense, because you're highlighting a possibility, right? So it should go in, when I find a good buyer for my old car, I will be able to buy a new one. This structure you should be able to know, guys. The first part goes in simple present, the second one goes with your simple future tense. Okay, moving on to the last question for today's session, guys, that is there on your screen. Again, errorless combination you need to find out. During the meeting, the BIS pointed out that the initial focus will be the 12 champion services sectors identified by the government. So, you are actually talking about a meeting where BIS is pointing out something. The focus should be where? In this question, you need to find out again the part which contains error, guys. That means you need to choose out the errorless combination. Which part contains error? Along with providing the option, guys, you can again explain the error which is there in the part. People are saying option 3, that is A, C, D. Okay, that means the error remains in option B. What is that error, guys? Abhishek says A, B, D, and there is no such combination. Okay, a easy question, guys. No need to think that much. We'll take one part at a time, guys. It says during the meeting the BIS pointed. I don't believe that there is any confusion in the first part, guys. During the meeting goes with your clause over there, and then it says the BIS pointed. The subject is there and the verb is used in your past tense. Out, that pointed out goes with your phrasal verb. Fine. Okay, Avinash says on should be inserted before the 12. Okay. Okay, Jayaprakash says preposition in part C. Anjali says for in the champion. Fine, guys, you can explain the part where it doesn't, there is no error into that, right? That means you need to find out the part where error can be. So I believe this question would be explaining you where the error could be, guys. Focus on the champion. Most of the people are saying focus on the champion. So we need to remove whole will be. So guys, yes, the answer could be there must be any other combination, right? That means the probable answer is not given over there, because it is actually telling you that the part where it belongs to. This answer might be confusing one. We should go with option number 4, guys. During the meeting, the BIS pointed out that the initial focus will be on the 12 champion services sectors. The answer might be confusing here. Don't go for option 5, guys. It must be option 4, because the focus will be substituted by the preposition what? On, because generally we use what? Focus on, guys. Service sectors is fine, guys. Champion services sector, that goes well. Don't worry about that. Okay guys, I believe this session would have given you new rules, new suggestions and new tricks to follow any question. The one very important point which we have discussed again and again in today's session was elimination, right? So no need to only go through the straight way, guys, in order to arrive at the right answer. You can also go through the reverse way to arrive at an answer, right? Because the marks will be provided for the right question or the right answer and not the approach which you are following, right? So whichever approach you feel is you are comfortable with, you can go ahead with that. So I believe till the time we meet again in our next session tomorrow, you will be practicing a lot of such questions, guys. So keep learning, keep practicing, and a very happy learning to all of you. Thank you.